want you guys to realize that she is currently, like right now, making 5 figures per month. She is a full-time entrepreneur, full-time with Savings Highway, with the funnel team. Like, doesn't have a job. Like, this is what she does for a living. So you guys hear us talk a lot about like what the potential is, that it's possible to have a full-time income. It's possible to make thousands of dollars per week. Well, the person that's coming out tonight is literally doing that.
Hey,
So
Daniel, have you checked the leaderboard recently?
I
She's
have
also
not.
number 4 in the entire company for production for sales
Mm-hmm.
out of the entire company. So
Make sure you guys are paying attention. And if you guys do have some questions, by all means, you guys can drop them in the comments. And I will try to get to them as we're going through tonight. So without further ado, Catherine, why don't you pop on out and say hello if you would. I'm super happy to have you out here with us tonight. Super proud of everything that you have accomplished, seeing your growth over the years, seeing your mindset, your attitude, and everything just kind of bloom and blossom over the years, and obviously the life that you're building for you and Rinley. It's just freaking awesome. So congrats and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Well, hello, everyone. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Catherine De Leon, and I live in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm most happy to be here tonight with you because, much like you, I know some of you guys may be really beginners, first day, 30 days, a few months, and are aiming for that full-time income. So I want to share some of my personal tips and tricks and things that I've learned to help you to get to that next level where you want to be.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, one of the things that we're going to talk about, I want to spend a lot of time talking about this so we can really try to help all of you guys here that are obviously taking time out of your day to be here and hopefully learn something, get some nuggets, maybe take some notes, which would be really good. Doug, make sure you're on mute there, buddy. I want to talk about DMO, which is, if you guys don't know, DMO, daily method of operation, also known as income producing activities, also known as what the heck does she do to get results, right? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So Catherine, if you would kind of start right at like, well, first and foremost, like, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit to a couple of years ago when you were first starting out and, you know, just really getting your start with Savings Highway. And correct me if I'm wrong, it has been about 2 years, right?
Yeah, like to the day, I think it just passed 2 years.
Nice. That's impressive. That's impressive. Guys, longevity means something in today's day and age. It really does. When you can say that you've been with the same business opportunity, the same company for 2 years, that says something. We're in, such a interesting time where people just opportunity hop all over the places. And there's so many shiny objects out there. To be with something for 2 years is awesome. And you can see what's happening. The people that stay in it the longest win the biggest. So it's awesome. So let's go back a little bit, Catherine, to a couple of years ago when you first got started. And I want to kind of talk about like what you were doing then kind of versus what you're doing now. So what was your plan of attack when you first got started? How did you first start tackling when you got into SHG, the content process and the type of videos you were making, where you were putting those videos, like, what different platforms, like what did that overall process look like when you first got started?
So the overall process, I mean, Instagram right now, and even at the time, it was growing. If you're not familiar, I've been in the online space for going on 3 years. So 6 months prior, I got my feet wet a little bit, kind of creating content. By no means was I an expert. I still was definitely still learning and still growing. But I would literally just really watch other marketers. I would study other marketers and take tips and tricks from them that I seen was working for them, and I started implementing myself. So I would pretty much like how we put out content for you guys to go and dupe. I would pretty much do that on a day-to-day basis, posting about 3 to 5 times a day, and that's TikTok and Instagram at the time. I really didn't have like, I mean, I just kind of, for me, I worked as much as I could because I knew where I wanted to be. I wanted to be. Like, I didn't just try to do the bare minimum. I was like, whatever is the most I can do. So if I could put out 5 pieces of content a day, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repurpose those pieces of content, and I'm going to engage with my audience. So, if there's any comments, I'm going to be sure to respond to them. I'm going to be sure to reach out to them. So at that time, that's what that looks like, creating like about 3 to 5 pieces of content a day and posting those, repurposing those, and also, following up with any comments or messages that I got from the pieces of content that I was putting out there.
So, question, when you were, obviously putting out 3 to 5 pieces of content, and your two main platforms were Insta and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you were putting those pieces of content out, were you timing them, putting them out at a certain time when you got to it? What did what did that look like when you were, how did that 5 pieces of content look like throughout the day?
In the beginning, I would say I was very like, I thought things that had to be very strategic. I thought, oh my God, I got to post at this time. And I did post typically around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, around like 2 p.m. and then around dinner time at like 6, and then like right before like winding down around like 8 or 9 p.m. just depending on how many pieces of content that I put out. But typically those were the time frames that I was posting, and I felt at the time like it was really important to post at those times. So that's what I was doing then.
Yeah, it's interesting, I think, especially when you're first starting out, like who you take your advice from. Because I remember in another program that we were in, there was another marketer, and she specifically said, these are the best times to post. It was like 9:01, 11:01, 4:01,
Yep.
and like 8:01. I'm like, why is that even relevant? Right. So at the end of the day, like ultimately you just kind of post when you post, you know what I mean? I don't think it really matters like posting at a specific time. Like, is it cool to do like an AM and a PM? Sure. And then like an evening, like, so in other words, like a mid-morning, a mid-afternoon, and then like an evening. Sure. If you're going to do 3 times a day. Yeah. Now, Catherine, for your sake, like, is there anything major or significant in your eyes that's changed between when you got started versus what you're doing today? So like even like today or this week, like, are you still doing the 3 to 5 pieces of content a day? Is that process still the same, or what's changed?
What's changed? I mean, the whole time thing was definitely not something that I needed to be focused on. So if any of you guys are feeling like, oh, I need to post exactly at this time or it's not going to work, that is absolutely BS, because it does not matter what time you post. What matters is you're obviously following the formula and you're being consistent. So post at the most convenient times for you. But that's one major thing. And really just focusing on connecting. I still post about 3 pieces of content a day. No longer 5. I don't really feel like it's necessary for me because I don't want to feel like I need to try to do that. When you focus on quality, you don't need to make so many videos, if you know what I mean. Like, I focus on just the quality of my video and what I'm actually giving to my audience. I just make sure that it's quality content, and I can produce less content that's going to still perform very, very well.
Let's talk about that segment there for a second, because I feel like you're saying something important. So I want people to kind of grasp and understand it. So when you were starting out, you were doing, close to 5 pieces or 5 pieces of content per day. And now you're doing more 3. Do you feel that that's because your content has gotten better over time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like in
Okay.
the beginning, again, when you don't really have too much knowledge. You don't really have a good mentor. When I first got started, it was like, throwing mud at the wall, trying to get something to stick and try to really figure out what would work for me. Because I didn't know. I didn't know until I put it out there. And then I can analyze, okay, I've been doing this for X amount of time, like it's working or it's not working.
Mhm.
So now I don't question whether it's going to work or not. I know it's going to work.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, that's awesome too. I mean, obviously you've created that strength and awareness over time by being obviously very, very, very consistent. So what would you say is in your content, if you were to go back and watch some of your videos from like literally 2 years ago, and it's kind of awesome that you just happened to cross that date and we brought you out like at this exact time. It just worked out well. But if you were to go back and look at some of your videos from like 2 years ago to today, what do you think would be some of the biggest differences between your content then versus your content now?
I feel like then I was focused on the money. I was focused on the money, making the money, which is great, but the real thing that my audience needs is me to connect with them. So I feel like back then it was more so about money, and
Mhm.
now it's more about connection and really helping the next person.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I came into it like that. I feel like I just came into it a little selfishly and, wanting to, get to where I wanted to be. And I did that. But I feel like now I'm more focused on actually really helping that person and connecting with them. And I can do that now through my content, even before I talk to someone.
Mhm. And I think you said you've said connecting twice now. Um, so I want to circle back to that in a second, but I also think it's important for everybody to realize too that like it's okay to be selfish. Like it's okay to think about money. It's okay to think about like, Catherine, you had also mentioned too, like the formula. And what's crazy is like when another program that we were in before, prior to the funnel team, before the funnel team even existed, before it was a thing, a lot of people that were in our group, that were in our program, were out there making all kinds of content, but no one had any clue what they were doing. Everyone was literally, like Catherine mentioned, throwing money against the wall to see if it would stick because there was no actual training for it. Fortunately for you guys, we now have all that mapped out in your team training site, the formulas, all of these different things and aspects that you want in your content to get out there and start your marketing. But if you were in our same opportunity, 2+ years ago, like none of that stuff existed. We all just kind of winged it every day.
Hey, quick question for you, Catherine, that leads right into what Daniel just said. I don't know if you saw Rachel's question, but she said, wondering if Catherine had a larger following in the beginning or if the algorithms worked for her.
So I never had a TikTok before getting started in any opportunity. Never had a TikTok. I had a personal Instagram, and my first go-to was my Instagram. And I started posting on there, and none of my friends or family supported me, didn't even like my photos, didn't like anything that I was doing. And it was really disheartening. And I just was not going to accept that. So I was like, well, I'm just going to create a TikTok page. One person did mention to me, like, start posting on TikTok. And I'm like, go post what? That was my advice. I'm not even kidding. Go post on TikTok. Okay. So I get on TikTok and I'm like, now what? Well, I wasn't going to just stop there either. So I have 0 followers and I started searching affiliate marketing. Well, guess what popped up? A whole bunch of videos. So what did I do? I started to dupe these people's videos, but always being authentic to me, myself, my journey, my experience, the things that I've learned. I'm not talking about things that they're talking about. It's always my story. And I literally was just started to share about my life. I'm like, my name is such and such. Like I started doing affiliate marketing and I'm going to quit my job. And I was already speaking into existence what I wanted. And my following then began to grow because of that. And then I started a new Instagram page and I drove that TikTok traffic to my Instagram page to help me build it. It didn't just, build itself. It was 0 followers on both TikTok and Instagram. And I just started to drive the traffic from TikTok to my Instagram page that I have now. So both of them were from scratch.
You just
So
dropped a huge nugget if anybody
yeah,
caught that.
I was gonna say, I even had to come on and be like, yo, did you just hear that? Guys, she started at 0.
Yep.
She started at 0 and she gets sales every single day. She started no following, no family and friend support, asking herself, how do I post on TikTok? She didn't know. She's just like you. She started at nothing. So it wasn't like, oh, she got lucky. She already had a following. She was already an influencer, right? I'm sure you guys have heard it before, in your conversations with people trying to get a sale and trying to get a team member and have impact and connect with them. Just like Catherine said, you have someone ask you, well, do you have to have a following to do this? Well, do you have to be a social media guru to do this? Freaking heck no. Everyone starts at 0. It's your choice if you stay there. And Catherine, based on her consistency, has built an audience and what I might say we would call a retention circle, a branding circle, having one social media outlet, TikTok, feed into another one to give Catherine branding, to give Catherine connection, just like she was saying. It's not just a one and done platform. It's, hey, connect with me here, but find me over here. Let's chat. She does DMs all the time, voicing messages back and forth because she's creating a brand. The brand happened from 0 that's now grown. So for you guys who have started, yesterday, today, a month ago, a couple weeks ago, few months ago, whatever it is, please just know that every single person on this team started at nothing. We didn't just come in and we were like, oh, we already know what we're doing. We didn't know what we were doing. She didn't know what freaking TikTok was. She didn't know how to post on it. And maybe that's how you guys feel too. But based on what Daniel said, you have the formula to do better, to do it faster, going farther, stronger in the moment, rather than feeling like you're throwing mud at the wall like Catherine once did. Does that make sense, you guys? Just drop the word "make sense" if you feel us. Okay. Okay, continue. I just had to get crazy there.
Oh, that was a great question. Great question.
Yeah. And you know what, though? Like, I hear a lot of people and it's just an excuse. A lot of people that are getting started or thinking about getting started, and they're like, oh, well, you already have a following. It's like, well, yeah. For me, back in 2016, when I started my YouTube channel, how many followers did I have? 0. When I started my Instagram account, how many followers did I have? 0. When I started, one of my 17 TikTok channels, how many followers did I have? 0. So what I want you guys to do right now is everybody write this down. Okay. Take a note. And Kirsty already said it, but we're going to say it again because it's really important. Everyone starts at 0. It's up to you if you want to stay there. Let that sink in. So you can make the excuses all you want. Oh, well, she's got a following. Yeah, but she started at 0 just like you. The only reason why she is where she is she just didn't quit. She didn't give up. She kept going. So, Catherine, for you had mentioned a couple of times connecting with my audience, connecting with the people, your leads, people that are watching your videos. Now, obviously, we know that you're connecting in the DM, you're replying to questions, you're responding to questions. Do you, in a way, or do you try to connect with your following in the content that you're making? Like, are you trying to hit specific pain points or touch on certain topics? And I think this is going to tie in because, someone was saying, talking about niches. And I think this could be just like a whole crazy conversation that goes down the niche rabbit hole here. But, do you kind of niche down on the style of content that you're creating so you can feel you can have that connection more with the people that are watching your videos?
I mean, like we said, you are your niche, you are your brand. I feel like
Damn, hold on, time out. You just said something so awesome. I got to write that down. That is so good. That is so good. I'm going to use that in a piece of content by tomorrow, by the way.
I'm pretty sure we're on the same wavelength because here I am like chatting it back to Topanga and then Catherine read my mind.
Listen to what she just said. You are your niche. That is so awesome. So love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Sorry, I had to stop you. That was so cool.
You know, like so many people follow like social media managers or other affiliates, and their one thing that they say all the time is like, pick a niche, pick a niche. And it's like, well, that can maybe apply to like some things, but not when it comes to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you are your brand. And I think that just kind of makes its own statement, like,
Yeah.
you.
So with that, like, what are some of the, I guess, take us through, give me some examples of like styles of videos or styles of content that you typically like to make that you feel, you know, based on views or based on engagement, whatever it is, that you feel resonate the best with your audience?
Um, Typically either inspirational content or behind the scenes content.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes my best videos is when I'm not even really trying. I'm not even really trying. So if it's something inspirational, that could be something maybe I overcame, like how I
Mm-hmm.
just shared with you that, you know, I had 0 followers. What were my fears, my doubts, my insecurities, and everything? Like I expose all of that. I don't hide it. So many
Yep.
people just want to hide it and sugarcoat and just go straight to like, you know, I'm making money. And, you know, that's cool and all, but people really want to know like where you come from, what
Mm-hmm.
you've overcame, because they have a lot of doubts, insecurities, and things that they're not sure, like, can I really do this? And the only way to paint the picture for them is to talk about it, is to share about it. So, you know, I'll talk about the things that I've overcome, and I feel like that's very inspiring to the next person. At least that's the feedback that I get.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be sharing again behind the scenes. So, you know, my life with my daughter. Last year, I even shared on my stories. Connecting in my stories is the biggest key, but just really sharing like my past experiences. Like I had to work every freaking holiday. I worked in the healthcare field. Like I didn't have days off, you know, so it's taking them, even if it's just speaking about my past experience to where I am now, you know, they get to hear and see now the growth in me. And I feel like that's again inspiring, but it's also like behind the scenes, like my life. And it's a lot more intimate than just, you know, posting a funny reel, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Where do you get your content ideas from?
Um, a lot of people ask me this. They're like, do you just like, you know, do you have these like written down? I'm like, no. A lot of the times I lead from the heart, which may
Yep.
seem weird. I don't know, but a lot of times I just speak from my heart. I create from my heart. I have inspiration, of course, from other people, and you, Daniel, Kirsty, of course, always. But a lot of it's, you know, past experience, what I've personally learned, you know, where I want to be, where I want to go, and just how I feel.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that's kind of spot on too, because you had said, obviously, you know, kind of coming from the heart, because you had said earlier about like, you know, inspiration and motivation and real life experiences, things that you've gone through, whether it be, you know, mindset or personal development and what you've learned. So I think those are things that you guys can take. And one of the things I want you guys to realize too, this is super important, is that like, you know, Catherine has also, at this point in her journey, and it's a journey, Catherine has experience. So let's just step back and look at like the 30,000 foot view. We're looking at from like the airplane down, right? If you're flying up in an airplane and you're 30,000 feet up and you're looking down, you guys got to realize that like she's also been doing this for a while. So it's gonna seem like it's easier for her to pop out content and be creative and have the followers and do all of those things, but she's just been doing it longer. She was where, for those of you guys that just got started, she was right where you are just 2.5 years ago. Like she was sitting in that same seat, with no followers and trying to figure out what the heck do I make content about. And now it's, you know, I hope you guys are taking notes, picking up some of these nuggets, but I love the aspect of like kind of like journaling your life and talking about and showing people what's going on. The fact that I remember I think it was about 2 years ago that we actually had a conversation about you, like, should I bring my daughter into my videos? And I don't know if you remember that, but I think we were chatting about that, of like, should I bring my daughter into my videos? And I was like, abso-freaking-lutely, you should, like, show people that you're real. And now I feel like it's,
Like she's
every other video
over
that I
my
see, like, you
content.
have your
I
daughter
know.
in it. And I think those are probably some of your, correct me if I'm wrong here, but those are probably some of your most engaging videos.
Yeah, she takes over. She's
Yeah, Kirsty, I don't know if you want to
real
chime in on
life.
this too, because I think a lot of people kind of go through this process of like, how do I be a marketer, right? How do I promote my business? And then like, and like, I want both of you guys to kind of talk about this a little bit. Like, how do I be like a mom, a parent, like juggle my family and like still market my business, and then maybe tie some of that into the content at the same time?
Catherine does this all the time. She literally posted what yesterday, and part of her stuff is like her daughter's watching a cute show in the background and she's like making eggs. Like in her video, she's like cracking eggs. Like you can hear it cracking. And then her daughter does something funny and it's totally just life. It's okay to use that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because you're like exploiting your kids. It's because you're saying, okay, hold on. Who are me and Catherine? We are moms. We have kids. Who is our niche? Who is our avatar? Avatar meaning our audience. Who do we want to talk to? Who do we attract? Moms, more than likely, right? Parents. And to have kids or her daughter, for example, in the background, that's just her expressing her brand. What does she love? Her daughter. She likes helping people. She wants to make money from her phone. So what is her niche? What is her brand? What does she naturally talk about? Those things, because those things are her. That's what she's interested in. So it goes back to the niche thing, goes back to the branding thing. Be okay to use the things that you are. Do you know how incredible it would be? Let's just use, Walmart as an example. Okay. If I'm a cashier at Walmart and I start this side hustle with this funnel team and I'm like, oh, I really want to make more money. Walmart, I don't want to be here. Right. I want to make more than my $15 an hour, whatever it is. Do you know how much more relatable you'd be if, like Catherine said a few moments ago, it was like a case study? Hey guys, I just started out on affiliate marketing. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but I'd really love to help you make more money. I'm making money too. I'm so excited, yada, yada, whatever. She had no idea what she was doing, but was she incredibly successful yet? No. She was like a case study. So if you were a cashier at Walmart at a job you hate, what if you did a video that says, I cannot wait to get out of this place. Watch me do it. Follow along to see how well I do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how Catherine maybe approached it. It was a case study. It was real. And what's real for her, what's real for me is to have our kids in the background. And for those of you thinking, oh, well, it's a safety thing. It's not. It's not. Like if the truth is you attract what you are, if you're scared to have what's real in your life, in your videos, that is what you're going to come across as. It's not going to matter what's behind the scene. If your kid's doing something or you're cooking eggs or whatever, you're going to attract the weirdos. You're going to attract the people who make you feel scared. Not once have I felt it was a safety thing. So for those of you thinking, oh, I can't use my kids. No, that's not at all what it is. It's that you're a parent. The end. I mean, if you're actually wanting to do that, I'm just saying it's helpful because it's real. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Catherine? What else on that?
I totally agree. Like even in the beginning, whenever I first started out, like that wasn't my again, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't want to put my daughter in all my content. But when I did feel that little hesitation, like I still showed like who I was, whether it was I was walking and with her in the stroller, like no, it wasn't face on her, but you can tell like there's a baby in there and I'm walking her, you know what I mean? So you get a feel of like, okay, she's a parent. So I'm just giving people glimpses of my life without showing her face. But as I, went on, I'm like, this is my life. This is my life. I love my life. I'm proud to have her. Everything. Like, and I didn't feel like it was a safety thing. Like didn't feel like I was going to attract those types of people. I mean, there's always going to be weirdos, but like I'm going to attract more people that I can help than
Mhm.
that want to do. I don't know. I don't think about that type of stuff.
Some of Catherine's best content, and same with mine, but specifically Catherine, the one that she posted the other day, she's like cooking eggs. She's totally just being blunt with people. It was hilarious to watch because here I am like, yeah, girl, preach, right?
Did not
If
write that.
I'm watching it and I'm like, holy freak, I got to enroll with her. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm already in this team, you know? That lets you know the content's really good. Catherine has so many, what you would say, blind enrollments, people who just enroll, and maybe she's talked to them, maybe she hasn't. And the reason they are blind, her not actually having to close the sale, is because her content is authentic. Truly. Sure, she's following a formula, but today she got her hair done. You want to know how I know that? Because she posted about it. She said, hey, I'm driving in the car, going to get my hair done. I'm teaching people tonight. She tied it to business, but she was like, I'm going to go get my hair done. You know, it was real. It was real. Do you get what we're saying here, guys? Just drop a yes if you feel us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, Catherine, I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered or been worried about what people think? Especially at the beginning, you're like, yeah, my friends and family couldn't care less. Felt like a weirdo.
I mean, I cared for a little bit. I cared for a little bit, but not enough, to let that, really just determine my success. Like there was no way, I was, oh my gosh, when it came out, like my own friends and family, my own spouse was like, is that a scam? I'm like, wow, you know me very well. You know me very well. I'm going to be out here scamming people. So it was very hurtful, but she just gave me more power to like not quit on myself. I was like, no, I will be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't last too long.
So what would you tell a person who maybe, I don't really care when you guys started, just roll with the example here. For those of you who have been in it for however long and you're still thinking, yeah, but I can't do this on this platform because this person will judge me and this person will think it's a scam. And even if you have posted on Facebook and you have friends and family being like, what are you doing? What would you tell them, Catherine, to get over that? It's okay that they're going to judge me. I'm going to do this anyway because I want the success bad enough. What would you say? What's like the tipping point for you?
Like we know, at the end of the day, do those people pay your bills? Do those people pay your bills? Absolutely not. And again, like you said, how bad do you want it? I mean, are you going to allow someone else to determine your success, to determine your freedom and what you want? Someone else that is irrelevant? I mean, my answer is absolutely not. And I hope yours is too. And that's pretty much point blank for me. I mean, your success is that it's yours. No one says. You shouldn't care what anyone else has to say. And if someone's being negative, but I left a whole relationship. We'll be, really blunt, honest. I don't sugarcoat nothing. Someone didn't support me. Guess what? Bye. I couldn't do it. So you shouldn't allow anyone else to determine your success but you.
There you go.
That.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. Mic drop.
Yep.
See ya.
Mic drop. Plain and simple, guys. Other people's opinions don't pay your bills, but your actions do. So decide your actions. You can either do it or not do it. Simple. Yep. Easy. Catherine, are there any other, besides videos, are there any other income producing activities that you're doing?
Really just networking, whether it be like not even on social media, wherever I go, like people always want to know, what do I do? Because I don't have a job. How are you, a single mom, supporting you and your daughter, like on just your income? Like it's just you. I'm like, yeah, I solely do this online, and it just goes from there. People get very curious, they're interested. And so I love when I'm out, honestly. It could be an event, it could be dinner, it could be the supermarket, it could be wherever. If I spark a conversation with somebody, that's how a lot of times I'm just networking. And I feel like that's income producing activities, because even if someone does not want to, be a digital marketer, guess what? I will share your content. I will keep you in mind. Great, do that. So people help me by me just sharing, it doesn't have to be for them, but they'll still help me. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So you're almost kind of using the people that as you meet to be like a traffic source for you, like to help share your stuff, even though they might not be joining you, but they might lead you to someone that might join you.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't know, you just got to put it out there.
Yep. 1000%. So take me through, when do you typically make your content? Do you usually do it like in the morning? What does your routine look like during the day?
Typically I would say in the day, like midday is when I'm recording. So of course, whenever I get up, I personally don't like to just hop on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok unless there's something urgent I need to get to. But I'll get up in the morning, pouring into yourself is so important, guys. I don't feel like you should jump on social media. So I'll pop on like a motivational podcast or, a speaker or whatever the case may be while I'm getting my daughter together, getting her dressed, getting her breakfast. It's her time, I feel. I don't want to be, 100% on my phone already when we just get up. So, paying attention to her, take care of her. And then I jump into social media, getting on social media. I feel like my first thing that I do is I follow up with any messages that I have first, and then I start engaging. You want to engage because you want to start boosting, like we always talk about, boosting the algorithm with comments. So the same thing applies, whatever, content that you've previously put out. So if I put out 3 pieces of content yesterday, well, guess what? Whatever comments that I didn't get to yesterday, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go comment back because it's going to boost it back into the algorithm and help that video keep performing well. So I'll engage that way, again, with messages. And like Kirsty
Juicy
mentioned,
nugget tip right there.
I always engage in my stories. Sometimes I slack on this. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect at all. But engaging in my stories is so important. So I'll just pop up my phone. I'll say, hey, Instagram, whatever. And I'll tell them about my day. I'll tell them I woke up to however much money. This does not need to be about money. It's about you. So it's my lifestyle. Me and my daughter are going to do this today. I'll record a couple pieces of content. I'm giving people like little glimpses into my life, like what is it that I do and how I do it. So I engage that way. Sometimes I'll poll them so you can add like little stickers and you can, ask them something and have them vote. This is engaging content. This is going to help your profile because people are going to be clicking on it, liking it, and things like that. So I do that. And then I jump into like kind of creating mode. If I don't already have, or I'll post whatever content that I've created like the previous day. And then I'll start searching for like trending sounds to use because if you don't know, trending sounds will help your video. No, it's not going to make or break it, but it will help your video perform well if it's a trending audio. So I'll, find some content that I feel is applicable to what I do and I feel like I can use, save those, and then I start jumping into recording. If sometimes I just record on a whim. Like the other day, I just recorded how I felt in my own thoughts because a lot of content that you put out, what is controversial, like people want to have something to say about it, I felt like was good. So those two things are typically what I do. And then after I record, I start editing and I do whatever I can. For me, I don't try to stress myself out with trying to be perfect or get everything done. I do what I can. And in the meantime, through all of this, I'm, engaging with my daughter as well. So that's typically what I do. And after I create, post more content, whatever I have for the day, and just follow up.
So you had mentioned in there looking for trending sounds. Where do you go to find those?
So I mean, if you're on TikTok, what is it? The For You page, Instagram, it's, explore page, or if you're just on literally where you can scroll for videos. So if you're on a video, typically it's at the bottom right of the screen. I want to say TikTok's the same, right or left of the screens at the bottom. And it'll have like a little album cover, and you can tap on that and it'll say whatever the sound the person used. You can save it and then go to it later when you're recording and record with that same audio. And you're going to know that it's trending because it has an arrow pointing up, or for Facebook, it has like a little flame.
Mm-hmm. So nice nugget there. And I don't know, there's an app that you guys can use too for TikTok. It's actually called Trend Talk. You guys go to the App Store, Google Play, whatever, and download that. And that will tell you also all the trending sounds, trending songs, all of that stuff that's over on TikTok, trending hashtags and keywords, all of those things. So all these tools are out there, guys, if you guys want to go use them, or you can just look right on the app itself, as Catherine was explaining.
Hey, and quick thought, you guys, as Catherine was talking, I was remembering that we interviewed her, let's see, October last year, so a little over a year ago. And we dove way into like an hour and 5 minutes worth of how she posts on Instagram, how she engages in stories. A minute ago when she said I use stickers and all that kind of stuff. Some of you guys are probably like, well, stickers, what the freak is she talking about? If you want that training, put a yes in the comments real fast, because I want to give you guys that training if you want the replay. But I only want to give it to you if you're like, yo, I want to know how to do Instagram. I want to know how to engage and actually understand her DMO for what she does. There's an hour that we could send you guys if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Keep it coming in. Let's see.
And just for yucks too, like, you know, Catherine, I know you said your main things are like TikTok. Well, actually, you know what? I've seen you really starting to take off on Facebook Reels. I think that's starting to be at least from what I can see, it looks like that's starting to take off for you pretty good. But obviously your main jam is Insta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many followers do you have over there now?
148,000.
148,000 followers. So you guys got to remember, she started at 0. Now she's got 148,000 followers. And by the way, Catherine makes sales literally every single day. And this is just consistency over time. Write that down. Consistency over time. This is what happens when you stay consistent, when you don't quit, when you don't give up, when you don't make excuses, when you find a way because you want it bad enough, so bad enough that you're not going to give up and quit on yourself. 148,000 followers, sales every day. How many of you guys would like over 100,000 followers and sales every day? Comment a big fat yes if that's what you guys want, right? How many of you guys want that? Well, we're here showing you, telling you, explaining to you that it's possible. All you got to do is not quit. That's it. Like it's so easy. All you have to do is not quit.
I would say one thing too, really, guys, when you're building and you're growing, do not compare yourself to me,
no,
to Daniel, to Kirsty, to Bill, to any marketer on social media, especially them, because even I'm like, okay, I'm very realistic, and a lot of people are not. A lot of people are saying out there that they're millionaires, and then they want you to go chase their shiny objects is what they're doing. So don't get caught up in, oh my God, I've been started and they're saying that they made, 50,000 their first month. Come on now. Come on. It's not realistic. So just don't compare yourself to other people. You have your own journey. Stick to your journey. You will meet with success when you stay consistent, you follow the formula, and you don't give up. Keep showing up for yourself, even when the days are hard. You got to be willing to still show up. And if you're continuing to do something, right, the same thing over and over again, and you feel like it's not working for you, oh my God, there's no comments, there's no this, there's no that, and you're using all these excuses of why it's not happening, you got to change it up. You got to change it up. You're never going to know like what really works for you, performs well for you if you don't try different things. So if you're not talking, you should try talking. If you haven't done a live video, you should do a live video. Like, you gotta keep pushing yourself to do things that you've never done, because again, you're not gonna know what works for you. The only way that I got to where I am right now is because I kept getting uncomfortable. Like, most people think that I just love to be on the camera, and I'm like, you really don't know me then, because I'm like, no, don't. I don't like the spotlight being on me. I was like sweating whenever we first got on here. I don't know. This is just naturally me. But you know what? I still do it anyways. I still do it anyways. So just don't compare yourself to anyone else and keep showing up for yourself. You will with success.
100%. And a goal for yourself too is, obviously what Catherine said was gold. It's easy. It's super easy to compare yourself to others that are out there, especially when other people are getting results and you're not. It's a defense mechanism. We all have it. It's natural. But what you want to do is you want to try to be at least better tomorrow than you were today. And then tomorrow you give it your best. And then the next day you try to be better than you were the day before. If you keep doing that every single day, just try to be a little bit better than you were the day before. Every single day you're going to grow. Every single day you're going to get better. You're going to focus less on other people and more on yourself. And it's just going to get better and better for you. Okay. So you guys know what you have to do. Now you just got to go do it. Right.
And enjoy it.
Yes.
Enjoy it. If you look like you're miserable, you're not going to attract anybody. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to want to join you. Nobody's going to be interested. Nobody. I'm sorry. But that is like the number one thing I think that I get in my DMs, my comments all the time. Oh my God, you look like you have fun. I do. And I love it. Like, I love what I do. Like, people, I don't know, just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Like, think about the end result, not the end, but you know what I mean? Like, what is the goal you're working towards? We always talk about close your eyes, I would meditate and I would think about, like, when I was living in New York, what my apartment was going to look like, what my life was going to look like being a stay-at-home mom. Like, I envisioned it before it even happened. I felt that every single time I made a piece of content because I knew what it was going to bring me. I know that may sound cliche or like, but no, it's real. The feeling is real. So enjoy the process. It is a journey to get to where you want to be. Enjoy it, because you'll be looking back and you'll be like me, you'll be like Daniel, you'll be like Kirsty, and it's like, wow, I can't even believe I've been here for 2 years already. And we're having an event in January. I'm super excited to be there and see you guys in person. Like, enjoy the journey.
That was beautiful. That was really good. Like, for real, guys. So I'm back here being secretary, taking notes so that you guys had a document for tonight. Do you guys want access to it? Just put a yes if so. This little thing right here is what you guys will gain access to. For those on the replay, this document is in the description right underneath the YouTube video. So be sure to reference it. Okay. I quoted her at the end because it was way too good to not do that. This right here, if you click the hyperlink, we'll go to the training that we had in October from Catherine. And then this is her Instagram. Take some nuggets from it. And also remember to not compare your chapter 1, your chapter 5 to her chapter 67. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that the energy that you feel tonight, from the nuggets that you got, from the inspiration that you felt, from the little things, little tweaks and alterations that you know you need to do, make sure you go do them and make sure that you're on your own path and that you're enjoying it, just like she just said. Sound good, guys?
Awesome.
All right.
Stuff.
Let me drop the link right now for you so you guys have it. And then make sure to go inside of our TFT Facebook group in the featured announcement section. Please put on the Teachable Tuesday post what you learned tonight. Give some love to Catherine. Share what you learned, what actually stood out for you, not just that it was good, but something that you learned so that other people can be impacted from tonight and can see the replay. Okay. There's the link right there for you guys. So you've got it. And any last thoughts, Catherine? What's your closing statement?
get to work.
Hey, simple.
I love it.
There you
Go
go.
work, go do something. Be uncomfortable. I say be uncomfortable. Go get uncomfortable.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Catherine, I just want to thank you for coming out as always. Great to always have you out here, but just love the growth, the development, seeing everything you guys have accomplished and experienced over the years. It's awesome. Hi, Rinley.
Hi.
There's a lot of people.
Oh, cutie.
Oh, who's that dude? Who's that
She's like,
bald-headed dude
it's
talking to
time.
me?
It's
Anyway, always great to have you out here, and thank you so much for all the nuggets that you shared. It was awesome.
Of course. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.